Weeks into the 2025 college football season, and flip season is here. Alabama is in the mix, pushing for one late target as well, trying to hold on to another. Stick around. Let's talk about it. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome into Way Offsides, your number one source for Alabama-related information. We do everything everybody else does in one place. We just do it a little different. We'll try to make sure you have a good time and you come back fully satisfied. It's Cotton here with Way Offsides. That's Way Offsides with 4 A's. 3's not enough, 5's too many, 4, just like in the word Alabama. Need help learning how to spell it? Tell them, Skip.
Way, this is all caps, W-A-A-A-A-Y, Way.
We're going to talk some recruiting today. We haven't talked recruiting in a while. There's not a ton going on, but things are starting to heat up as the 2025 college football season gets underway. We're moving into week 4. It's a bye week for Alabama, but they've hosted tons of recruits over the past 2 weeks. However, they are still pushing for one big-time target while another is flirting with somebody down south. Before we get to it, stick around, don't go anywhere. We're going to get there. Before we get to it, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. About 20% of you who watch the videos are subscribed, which is a crazy number. So let's bump that up. Those are rookie numbers. We need to bump those numbers up, right? Bump them up. Bump them up. Let's get them up to 50%. Anyway, recruiting is a fluid thing. It's ever changing, ever flowing, like water, as Bruce Lee would say, just like water. Be like water, my friend. So things happen, right? Things are going to happen as the season progresses, depending on how teams perform. Offensively, right now, Alabama looks like a juggernaut in the world of college football. They didn't in week 1, but they do right now. That will be appealing to some recruits as we move through the 2025 season. Defensively, especially along the defensive line, Alabama looks a little mediocre, right? And there are some questions per some people about maybe potentially about the system and if it works. Let's fix that banner down there. I'm not saying that's the reason behind anything I'm about to tell you going on, but I'm just saying there are a lot of variables that go into recruiting, and it's ever changing. Of course, NIL is a big deal. Playing time is a big deal. Distance from school is a big deal, which Alabama, I think like the average distance from their school for the players on the roster is like 300 miles. It's crazy. But anyway, right now, okay, we'll talk at first about Alabama's current class for 2026. Alabama sits currently with the number 4 or the number 7, depending on which recruiting agency you look at. Recruiting class. They don't have a class that's bolstering 30 plus commits. That is okay. They don't need that. However, the recruits they have fit the style that Kalen DeBoer wants in his system. And we're starting to see now that if Kalen DeBoer is getting his guys in his system, the people that fit, things might actually work. Now, there's, the verdict's still out on Kane Womack in the defense. However, Alabama's defensive class right now is spectacular. And a big part of that defensive class is, four-star defensive lineman Nolan Wilson out of Mississippi. Wilson is the number 3 player in the state of Mississippi. He's the number 6 defensive lineman. He's a top 100 recruit. He has been committed to Alabama since July 4th, since the 4th of July. Beautiful day, America and Nolan Wilson. Now, here's the thing. The roster outlook for Alabama is pretty good for him. I mean, he's going to have to, do some stuff to get on the field at some point in time and take his lumps and learn. However, Wilson also is going to be, even though he's a verbal commit to Alabama, he's going to be visiting Miami this coming up weekend for their Florida game. This has been something we've known for a while, that he was going to find himself in Miami at a particular point in time. But as I've told you guys, I think that there's going to be 1 or 2 guys that Alabama may possibly lose in this class. I think they're going to gain a couple of guys before it's said and done, but there may be 1 or 2 guys they lose in this class. And Nolan Wilson is one that I have my eye on. This is one I don't think Alabama can afford to lose. I don't think they need to lose him. However, on the flip side of things, Michigan committed on 6/23. Titan Davis, defensive lineman. He is the number 14 defensive lineman in the class, the number 2 player out of Missouri. He's out of St. Louis. Right now, currently verbally committed to Michigan. Alabama's still in hot pursuit of him, as is Penn State. This is all coming from On3, by the way. So we're going to see how these things play out. Now, just because a player takes a visit somewhere else doesn't mean that they're going to commit there. Personally, I'm of the mind that I would like to see a player, once he's committed, to kind of just shut it down, like many of Alabama's recruits have. But, in today's day and age, it's just what it is. Now, does this mean that Alabama's going to lose Nolan Wilson and pick up Titan Davis? Absolutely not. Both of those kids could maintain their verbals to wherever their school is. The point I'm trying to make most is that recruiting is fluid. It's ever changing. It's never going to be constant until some kid gets on campus. And even then, in today's college football, it's not. Now, somebody else I want you to keep an eye out for and watch. I don't think this one is as big of a deal. But again, if a kid's traveling to another school for visits, it's something that is worth note. Max Sutter, 4-star tight end. He's been committed to Alabama since late June. Number 6 tight end in the class, top 100 player, number 1 player out of the state of Illinois. Now, he will be visiting the Fighting Illini this weekend. Now, Alabama's not playing this weekend. He's already visited Alabama this season, along with several other guys. I don't think this is one to really hold your breath about and panic over. I think if somebody was going to swoop in and make a really hard push for this kid, it'd be Ohio State. But again, this isn't, this is something that we just want to watch as we move forward, because visits are worth noting. It's not uncommon for kids to take visits to a school, come off that emotional high of watching a live game there, watching the game day environment. We had Cruz on the show a few weeks ago, and he talked about LSU. Like it scares them when kids take official visits to LSU, because the environment at a night game there is so good. Kids go, they see it, they're very impressed, and they make an emotional decision to decommit and then commit somewhere else. And at this point in the game, it feels like if a kid's going to decommit, he's probably not going to recommit to you, just because, we're in September now, and the March to December is coming quickly to that early signing period. So just some names that you want to watch. If I had to guess right now, I feel like Alabama possibly keeps both of these kids, but they are guys that we're definitely going to watch moving forward, because like I said, recruiting is it's constantly changing. And I know you guys like talking recruiting. And when we're talking about somebody like Nolan Wilson, as opposed to bringing in a Titan Davis, that's an area of need for Alabama moving forward. And so, assuming that they were to lose Nolan Wilson and not go get Titan Davis, they're going to have to find somebody to fill that spot. Now, the name everybody wants to talk about, there's no update there, and that's Anthony Tank Jones, number 2 player out of the state of Alabama, is currently hard committed or verbal committed to Oregon. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Alabama's still pursuing that. If that is an NIL matchup, Alabama's probably not going to win it. They're not going to overbid. Courtney Morgan's been pretty clear about his strategy there in terms of, relationships over transactions, and he wants quality over quantity. So, yes, he's a good player. You want to keep your best talent at home, but, Alabama's not going to overpay for folks, because they do have, right now you've got 5 5-star commits in this class. I don't care what re-ranking by Rivals says. You've got 5 5-star commits in this class right now. Those guys are all going to command NIL dollars. So you got to use your money smart, right? So there's not an endless checkbook in Tuscaloosa. I wish there was, but there's not. And that's okay, as long as they're using it strategically. We've talked about this last season leading into the 2025 recruiting class. There's 2 ways you can go. You can spend all your money in one go and hope that it works out, or you strategically, a 3 to 5 year recruiting plan with your NIL funds. And I think Alabama is utilizing the latter, and I think it's going to work out for them in the long run. And then also, they also have to allot NIL to basketball. It's not like Alabama's not a scrub when it comes to basketball either. That's becoming a big sport in Tuscaloosa. So you have to think about that aspect of it too. But as of right now, I don't think anybody is in danger of flipping. We'll see after this weekend. Definitely want to keep an eye on Nolan Wilson. If he's going to be down there visiting Miami. Best we can hope for is that somehow DJ Lagway turns it on and beats the Hurricanes down there in front of Nolan Wilson. So fingers crossed. If something changes with that recruitment or with that commitment, he decommits, we'll let you know as soon as we do. So be sure you're liked, subscribed. We'll bring it right to your doorstep. Thanks for hanging around with me. You guys are the absolute best. Lots more to cover in the coming days. So be sure you're subscribed. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.